What's up, everybody? Jeff Bannock here. Let me double check, make sure we're live in the group so I can get this going. 1 second. Hope everybody's having an amazing day today. I'm really excited about reading today's passage. Even though we're only a few chapters in, I'm really excited about everything we've been doing. It's been really cool just reading along here and getting closer to God every day and using this as a way to start my day. So let's see here. And looks like we're almost live in the group. It is not said yet. 1 second. We are live now. All right, all right, all right. What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. So we last left off reading the different descendants of Shem in Traha. And we are now at the promise to Abraham. This is chapter 12 of Genesis. Now the Lord had said to Abraham, "Get out of your country, from your family, and from your father's house, to the land I will show you. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing." Okay. So now, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. When Abraham took, I think it's Sarai, Sarai, Sarah. Maybe I think that's Sarah. It's supposed to be Sarai. His wife. I need to look that up. His wife and Lot's brother's son, Lot his brother's son, and all their possessions that they had gathered, and the people whom they had acquired in Haran. Man, if anybody ever watches this, or you know anybody that knows stuff about the Bible, especially pronunciation, it'd be really cool to have somebody in chat to help me with these occasionally. It'd also be really cool to have somebody to be able to talk with about this. So if you're ever interested in see parts of this, and you're like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or you'd like to discuss parts of it, I'd really appreciate that. The chat is completely open to anyone. I'm constantly watching it, so just let me know. All right, so back to the Bible. What a cool thing to say. Let's see here. Inquired in heaven and parted to go to the land of Canaan. So they came to the land of Canaan. Abram passed through the land of the place of Shelshem as far as the terebinth tree of Moreh. This is wow. And the Canaanites were then in the land. Then the Lord appeared to Abraham and said, to your descendants I will give the land. And there he built an altar to the Lord who had appeared to him. And he moved from there to the mountains east of Bethel. And he pitched his tent with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. And there he built the altar to the Lord and called the name of the Lord. So Abraham journeyed, going on still toward the south. Abraham in Egypt. Now there's a famine in the land, and Abraham went down to Egypt to dwell there for the famine was severe in the land. And it came to pass when he was close to entering Egypt that he said to Sarai his wife, "Indeed, I will know that you are a woman of beautiful countenance. Therefore it will happen when the Egyptians see you that they will say, 'This is his wife,' and they will kill me, but they will let you live. Please say you are my sister, that it may be well with me with your sake, and I may live because of you." Interesting. So it sounds like to me right there that he's saying that he wants her to pretend like he's his sister versus his wife, because if they think he's married, they'll kill him to take her because she's so beautiful. At least that's what I'm sort of getting out of that. Very interesting that it was that well known back then that people be just like, "Hey, you got a good looking girl over here. Got to be careful. They'll just kill you and take her." But they wouldn't take her as a sister. Interesting. I wonder why. I wonder why. What's the deal? I mean, like, why wouldn't, if she's like beautiful and they want her, why wouldn't they just kill her brother? What's the difference between killing her brother and her husband? Interesting. So it was when Abram came to Egypt that the Egyptians saw the woman, and she was very beautiful. The princess of Pharaoh, also saw her and commanded her to Pharaoh. And the woman was taken to Pharaoh's house. Wow. They're just like, hey, bring her. That's pretty wild. Pharaoh's house. He treated Abraham well for her sake. He had sheep, oxen, male donkeys, male and female servants, female donkeys, and camels. But the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with a great plague because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. And the Pharaoh called Abraham and said, "What is this you've done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister?" Interesting. I might have taken her as my wife. Now, therefore, here is your wife. Take her and go your way. So Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away with his wife and all they had. Abraham enters Canaan. Abraham went up from Egypt, he and his wife and all they had, and Lot with him. So to the south, Abraham was very rich in livestock and silver and gold. And he went on his journey from the south as far as Bethel. So did he get to keep all that stuff that he got? Like it sounds like that they tried to bribe him for his sister, and then they found out they got the curse where everything was bad was happening because it was actually his wife. So then they kicked him out. So it sounds like now he's like, well, I'm flush now. I'm well off. I've got all my stuff. I've got livestock. I got silver. I got gold. Interesting. Uh, his journey from Bethel's or south as far as Bethel to the place where his tent had been in the beginning. Oh, so it's like a little round journey, circular, interesting. Between Bethel and Ali, the place where the altar had been made there at the first, and there Abraham called to the name of the Lord. Lot also, who went with Abraham, had flocks and herds and tents. Now the land was not able to support them, that they might dwell together. For their possessions were so great they could not dwell together, and there was strife between herdsmen of Abraham's livestock and herdsmen of Lot's livestock. The Canaanites and the Perizzites then dwelt in the land. So Abraham said to Lot, "Please let there be no strife between you and me, and between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we are brethren. Is not the whole land before you? Please separate from me. If you take the left, then I will go to the right. If you go to the right, then I will go to the left." That's cool. So he's coming. He's like they've amassed so much fortune now, which is interesting because I'm not sure where all of it's coming from. I mean, how are they amassing? Is this just God giving them gifts? Is this them being good businessmen and using the gifts that they've been given from God here to be able to grow in wealth? It doesn't really go into that very much, which is something interesting. I mean, he's all of a sudden they've got some cattle. That's it. They pretty much left with what they had to some degree. That's the livestock, donkeys. I didn't have a lot. Next thing you know, they have so much that they're having conflicts where they're I don't want to say servants, but I guess servants is what it really is though back then. They're herdsmen, and he's like, and I love that Abraham's just like, hey, I don't want anything wrong with us. If you go left, I'm going to go right. It's like you pick whichever you want. So I think that's really cool. That right there, he's already showing humility and being like, look, I just love you. I want us to be separate. This is what we got to do, which makes sense. If they're having problems, that makes sense. And Lot lifted his eyes and saw the plain of Jordan, and it was well watered everywhere before the Lord destroyed Sodom. This is before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt was, go toward Zor, Zoar, Zor. Then Lot chose for himself all the plains of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated from each other. Abraham dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the cities of the plains, and pitched his tents in as far as Sodom. But the men of Sodom were exceedingly wicked and sinful against the Lord. Interesting. And the Lord said to Abraham, after Lot had separated from him, lift your eyes now and look for a place before you are the northward, southward, east, and west. Lift your eyes now and look from the place where you are north. Okay, look where you, so he's like, look around basically. He says, for all the land which you see, I give you and your descendants forever, and I will make your descendants as the dust of the earth, so that if a man could number the dust of the earth, then your descendants also could be numbered. Arise, walk in the land through its length and its width, for I give it to you. So God's come down now and says, Abraham, everything you see basically is yours now. Take with it, do as you will. It will be yours and for yours descendants forever. For this apparently is pleasing to God, everything Abraham's done. I'm not really sure, like, what has he done to be so good? Like, don't get me, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I know he's ascended to Noah, and all that, and he's been good, but how has he spread God's word or done anything really other than just lived? You know what I mean? Like, interesting. I think that's very interesting that God's come down now and like Abram is like, dude, you're the man. Here you go. All your people get this. You get it. But like, what is the real rationale behind that? You know what I mean? Like, very interesting. Like, I mean, not that we ever need to know or understand God's plan, because trust me, I don't. So many times that there's things that happen in my life. I mean, it's just look at recently and everything that's transpired, which I'm going to be doing an intro video all about that, about my journey, all the last, what's basically everything up till now, because it's all culminating now. So it's going to be a long like intro, but I'll break it up and stuff. It'll be, I'll give it timestamps. It'll be cool. But yeah, so back to the Bible Hill. Abram, I don't understand why he did it so good. Like, just living and doing what he'd normally do. They've not followed God's commandments. I mean, he doesn't even give the 10 commandments yet. So, I don't know. Very interesting. Anyway, so they get the land. And Abram moved his tent and went and dwelt in the terebinth trees of Mamre. I don't know. Mamre. Which are in Heldron, and built the altar there to the Lord. Chapter 14: Lot's captivity and rescue. Okay. So, and it came to pass the days of Amraphel, king of Shinear, Antiochus, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, Tidal, king of nations, what they made war with, Bara, king of Sodom, Visha, king of Gomorrah, Shaitbeb, king of Abdon, Shimmer, king of Zeboim, and king of Bela, that is Roar. All these joined together in the valley of Siddim. That is the Salt Sea. 12 years they serve Chedorlaomer, and on the 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer the king were with him came and attacked Ropham. In man, this is just a bunch of names. This is crazy. Um, Ashtaroth, Karnim, the Zuzum and Ham, the Im, oh my gosh, Imim in Shaveh, Karam. Oh my goodness, this is just the Horites in their mountains of Seir and as far as El Faran, which was in the wilderness. They turned back and came to in Mishpat, which is in Kadesh, and attacked all the country of the Amorites and all the Amalekites and Amorites who dwelt in Hazaron Tamaron. And the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Adam, the king of Zeboim, the king of Bethel went out and joined together in the battle in the valley of Siddim and against Sherlamar, king of Elam, Tidal, king of the nations, Ephraim, king of Shedar, Antioch, king of Elsiar, 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of asphalt pits, and the king of Sodom and Gomorrah fled. Some fled there, and the remainder fled to the mountains. Then they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their provisions and went their way. They also took Lot, Abraham's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods and departed. Then one who had escaped came and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the Terebinth trees of Mamre in Amorite, brother of Eskel and brother of man, I am so sorry I messed these up. I need to get Hebrew name reading class. And they were allies with Abram. Now, when Abram heard his brother was taken captive, he arrived. He armed those 318 trained servants who were born in his own house and went to pursuit as far as Dan. He divided his forces against them by night, and he went and his servants attacked them and pursued them as far as Hobah, which was north of Damascus. So he brought back all the goods and also brought back his brother Lot and his goods, and as well as the women and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him in the valley of Sheveth, which is the king's valley. And after this return from the defeat of Sherlamar, the kings were with him. Abram and Melchizedek. When Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine, he was the priest of good Most High, and they blessed him and said, "Blessed is Abram of God Most High, processor of heaven and earth, and the blessed be God Most High. He has delivered your enemies into your hands, and he has give him a tithe of all." Now the king of Sodom said to Abram, "Give me the persons and take the goods for yourself." But Abram said to the king of Sodom, "I have raised my hand to the Lord, God Most High, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will take nothing from a thread to a sandal strap, and that I will not take anything that is yours, lest you say, I have made Abram rich, except only that young men have eaten, and a portion of the men who went with me, Mara, let take their portion. One who will come from our own body shall be your heir." Let's read this again. I messed this up. So, first of all, he's like, "The Lord's made me rich. I'm good." So that's cool. he recognizes right there that the Lord is the reason why he's got so much that that we're able to separate. It's interesting to just go to this war. It doesn't really like say what it's about, really. That I got. They're just all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we're going to war. So thought that was sort of interesting, and everybody starts fighting, and then he comes here and he's like, Abram went in and they took everybody down. It was really good. He's getting celebrated. They have all these riches. He's like, I'm not going to take anything. Everything's for you. God's hooked me up. And then he's like, after these things, the word of the God came to Abram in a vision, saying, okay, so wait a minute. Yeah, I will take nothing from a thread to a sandal strap, and that I will not take anything that is yours, lest you should say, I have made Abram rich, except only that young men have eaten, and the portion of the men who went with me, Aer, Eshcol, and Marma, let me take their portion. Okay, so he's like, let them take their portion. Sorry, let them take their portion. Gotcha. All right, okay. So he's like, let them take after these things. The word of the Lord came to Abram in the vision, saying, "Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your exceedingly great reward." But Abram said to the Lord God, "What will you give me, seeing I go childless, and the heir of my house is Ezer of Damascus?" Then Abram said, "Look, you have given me no offspring. Indeed, one born in my house is my heir." And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, saying, "This one shall not be your heir, but one who will come from your own wait, one who will come from your own body shall be your heir." Then he brought him outside and said, "Look now toward heaven and count the stars if you are able to number them." And he said, "Also shall be your descendants." So he's like, I appreciate everything you're doing, Lord, but he's like, I really want to have a kid. I'm childless. I've got this one guy who's sort of the heir, as a Ezel of Damascus. He's like, I want some of my own offspring. Maybe that's from another wife's kid, maybe. And then he's like, behold, the Lord came and said that you are going to look at the stars and you'll have as many descendants as there are stars. It's cool. So he believed in the Lord, and he accounted it to him for his righteousness. And then he said to him, I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you the land to inherit. And he said, Lord God, how shall I know that I will inherit it? So he said to him, bring me a 3-year-old heifer, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. Then he brought all these to him and cut them in two down the middle. Interesting. Okay. And then he placed each piece opposite the other, but he did not cut the birds in two. And when the vultures came down on the carcasses, Abram drove them away. Now, when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and behold, horror and great darkness fell upon him. Then he said to Abram, know certainly that your descendants will be strangers in the land, and that it is not theirs, and will serve them, and they will be afflicted for 400 years. And also the nation whom they serve I will judge. Afterward they shall come out of the great possessions. Now as for you, you shall go to your fathers in peace. You shall be buried at a good old age, but but in the 4th generation they shall return here, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet complete. And it came to pass, when the sun went down, and when it was dark, that behold, there appeared a smoking oven and a burning torch that passed between those places. On the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, to your descendants I have given this land from the river of Egypt to the river of the Euphrates, the Canaanites, the Kenzanites, the Cabanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Raphim, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Girgashites, and Jezebites. All right, so he's now saying that he's given him all the land for everything good he's done. It feels like there's pieces missing here. It just feels like there's not the whole story. Very interesting. So, but yep, that's pretty much it for today. We were reading 14 or we were reading 12 or sorry, what we have started at 12, 13, 14, and 15. Oh, I read too much. I think I read too much. But whatever. So let's see what we have here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today. I appreciate it. It was great. I enjoy reading this. I wish I could get better at the names. I like breaking it down like that a little bit of what I'm reading here and everything. So yeah, we did 12 to 15. So yeah, that's perfect. And sort of breaking it down as I'm interpreting and reading it. Some of it's still very interesting. I'm looking forward to getting through the Old Testament into the New, but that's still quite a ways away from now. So tomorrow we'll be doing 16, 17, and 18 chapters, I believe. And I'll check my little chart here and make sure. But I appreciate everybody watching. Thanks so much for being here today. God bless everybody and have an amazing day. And I'll see you.